Well, I suppose this is going to be an apology to a lot of veteran groups and veterans out there. We have here John City, Rosemead, California. This is June 1st of 2021. This is Tuesday. It was close to 6 o'clock in the morning. Give or take about 4.5 minutes. You see, this weekend was my brother's birthday if he was still alive. Yeah, I know, somebody bring out the damn fiddles and start playing a sad tune here. But for me, it was never a joke. And the thing of it is, I've been dealing with a hell of a lot of emotional situations here. There had been online and media reports concerning about athletes going through depressional routes and have to take time off from the sport to recover themselves, even though they may be getting to the top of the game and being at the top of the pyramid. Nervous and mental issues is nothing to be sneezing at. Well, mine as well. Mine as well, because I have to deal with that. Now, in a lot of my videos, if people have noticed the camera angles, they notice something. And the something is, when I happen to turn my camera a certain direction, I incorporate another subject matter or a related subject matter to the task I'm trying to discuss about. And then, if I happen to move the camera in another direction or a different angle, you may be able to get two things at the same time. The clock on the wall and my mausoleum. In said mausoleum is a urn that has the remains of a brother and a vet, all in one, in the same picture that you see down below. Since losing my brother back in 2018, it hasn't been easy in dealing with the emotions of loss. It was bad enough I had to deal with Ma's death back in 2013. And at least I had opportunities and I've had people to walk me through that particular stage of the grief. And then after that, you deal and struggle with the day-by-day living. And you try to put the pain and whatever kind of feelings that you had or thoughts aside to focus on day-by-day living. The only thing is, when you lose a very important person in your life, that really means a damn in your life. I mean, it really means a lot in your life. Not to be cursed or cussed at unless you're really pissed off that person. But if you really, truly love this person, it hurts. And in seeing what, see, this is kind of hard for me trying to find the words to say in the way I'd like to say them, because they're still trying to be clouded up by a lot of emotions. I mean, the holiday season's gone now. It's regular June, and we got July coming up, and we should be celebrating the patriotic 4th of July. Memorial Day was always a downer for a lot of us veterans. Well, I'm not a veteran, but a lot of those veterans out there that have lost brothers in arms and sister in arms due to combat or to death and disease. And for me, I lost my brother to disease and death. And it wasn't easy being a caregiver for him. So when the Memorial Weekend kicked in, I am hurt because I can relate more and more with the veterans who've lost family members or friends and colleagues to whatever ailed them or whatever, however they died, shall we say. I can try relating to the veterans in one aspect regarding the PTSD, the grief, the anxiety, to the depression. I could not relate with them regarding the shell shock of what they've been through, of how their bodies have been mutilated, blown up to hell, sliced, diced, shot at, used for target practice, mutilated, basically, mentally and physically. Hard enough to talk about things like this, especially when I see the memories of my own brother who had came home theoretically in one piece, but he was all broken up. It was only later on that, in listening to conversations with other people, that I discovered just how screwed up, or actually how broken up, my brother was. And that there were certain aspects I could not relate with him. Maybe some I can, but others I can't. He had been through combat himself, being a U.S. Navy vet. Some things he wasn't allowed to tell me, and other things it was too damn hard to say because he knew I didn't have the context for it. It was not until I actually had my own death-defying experience, or almost a death experience myself, that I could try relating with him. Of course, my brother could have figured it out a long time ago if he actually had PTSD. His younger brother had it well before he did. I mean, hell, I was dead as a young kid and came back to life again. So, yeah, it does something to someone there. Only I didn't think he kept that into account. So I didn't know what the hell PTSD was. But I had it all my life, and nobody diagnosed me as such. It's not until my adult life, in my late 40s, was I diagnosed as such. And then it surprised them because they called it the white lab coat syndrome. They didn't want to deal with the PTSD syndrome. I said, no, I've had this ever since I was 4 years old, all right? You try dying on the table and coming back to life a few times. Then let's see how you are growing up during those times. You start to learn how to fear and hate life and also death at the same time. Let's see how mentally screwed up you're going to be. And call yourself white lab coat syndrome? Give me a break. I had to argue. I got diagnosed. But that's nothing compared to what the veterans had been through. See, I couldn't talk about things like this. I was hurting too damn bad throughout the weekend. And it's not just because of losing a veteran or feeling the sorrow and the pain for the veterans' families. I was feeling it because I was feeling the loss of my own brother, who had a natal birthday in that weekend. If he had still been alive to this day, we would have been celebrating it just one day, and then maybe a few days later we would be celebrating the memorial holiday. Putting up a flag on our window to show to the world that there was a veteran or a supporter of veterans that lived here. I couldn't even do that. I could not do that because I was in too much pain, too much grief, too much loss. I was barely functioning as it is. I'm barely functioning right now as it is. But trying to tell people this is a different story altogether. They think maybe I'm crazy. Well, maybe I am crazy. Because you try losing your family, and you have an enemy to deal with, and the enemy has taken everything from you. The enemy to me is death. But I still have to go on living, and I hate living. But I also hate dying at the same time. So yeah, it kind of leaves me a little crazy at that point. Not Batman Joker crazy, but just off kilter, or I'm not thinking the same like everybody else. Then again, I don't think everybody else is thinking the way they're supposed to be thinking, so I'm probably in good company. I could not talk to people about this except putting it on videos and maybe making postings left and right, but I don't think people got the message. There was an outing I was supposed to be going to a Veterans of Foreign Wars post, a local one within a couple of miles from here. They were having a barbecue and a memorial service. I couldn't go to that one either. Hot as hell during that time. I mean, I am living in the desert in California, Antelope Valley, so yeah, we're roasting. But besides that situation of dealing with my health issues, I'm also dealing with the emotional, which are just as powerful. A long time ago, when I was able to lean on my family for emotional support, I didn't have to worry all that much about the emotions overtaking me because I drew upon the strength of my family. Now, since I don't have any family, it's a different story altogether. I'm alone and I have to deal. I have to cope. I have to pull out whatever kind of strength level I've got left in me to function. I owe it to the veterans who have died to do something. So I did a video. But I was pissed off at the political system and people freaking out left and right about how they're misaligning the damn thing and how they're shortchanging the veterans one way or another. And more mass killings happening and random shootings left and right. I lost it. Let's face it, I lost my ass. I mean, I lost my mind, basically. I went nuts. I'm not going to apologize for it. Because at the time I thought I was making sense. And I'm not kissing ass on that one either. Maybe call it pride and ego at this point over here. But for a man who's in pain, he has to talk about it. He has to show it. He has to bring it out in the open. He has to exhibit it. Now we were taught a long time ago. Big boys don't cry. Big boys don't cry. Big boys don't cry. They're not supposed to be crying. They're supposed to be tough men growing up. You have to be tough and tough, tough, tough. You can't show your emotions. You can't break down and cry. You can't feel the loss. And if you happen to show it, you're weak. You're a weak person. I was told that growing up all the time. They were so proud of me that any tragic situation happened, I was so damn strong. I was breaking down inside while trying to show this damn facade being propped up here. You know when you see those commercials for those depression medications, antidepressants, ones with the mask, you see the poor person with a smiley face on here, and it's usually a woman who's going, but I'm showing a happy face. Look at the happy face. And then she's pumped up with drugs at the end of nearly at the end of the commercial, and then she's able to put the damn thing over here and sing. I'm like, forget it. I'd rather be going through the damn smile. I'd rather be taking a smiley face, breaking the damn thing apart, and said, "This is reality. Deal with it." All throughout my life, I had to be told, "Deal with it." Take the pain, take the pain, take the pain. I took the pain. And I hated taking the damn pain. And I hated everybody else at the same time. I hated my family. I also hated the medical profession. I hated people who keep telling me, take the damn pain. Because I wanted to take a baseball bat and have fun with them. You can't tell me to keep taking the pain because there's usually a point where you have to go. And then you have to go out. I was fortunate enough I didn't get to that point, but damn close to it. A lot of pain, a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, a lot of fear, stress levels, everything. People want to show how tough they are. Show them your heart. Show them your grief. Show them your pain. People call it weakness. I call it humanity. Show them what makes you, you. There are some people on social media that I communicate with, groups of people, and they have issues. Sometimes I'm looking at some of these posters and I'm finding out that some of them actually have some of the issues I've dealt with growing up and also currently. So I'm able to relate. I've also had other issues where I've had people who have experienced loss to the point where they want to kill themselves. And they happen to hear other quote-unquote professionals trying to give their unwarranted opinion about how to deal with the pain in life. And one remark was coming back saying, I was feeling worse than ever before. And the thing of it is, I've heard this stuff before coming from shrinks and therapists. And I just decided, screw it. I mean, the psychiatrist and the medical doctors will be able to prescribe you medications on how to be screwed up in the head by elevating or lowering your blood pressure to the point where you feel like you're moderated. And then you have the therapists and the psychologists trying to talk you into things. Try a few things. Okay, you can tell me, but I'm not going to do it anyway. So then the response would be, then why are you here in the first place? Because somebody told me to be over here just to satisfy them, not to me. I'm already fucked up right now as it is. So now I've got to be put into, a straitjacket because I'm crying my eyeballs out? Because I'm hurting like a sorry son of a bitch? That I have to be put in a padded room because people don't want to see this side of humanity? When somebody has lost someone special in their life, you don't lock them up. You let them get it out. And you let them get it out the only way they know how. And if they have to scream and yell, if they have to cry like crazy, if they tear apart pillows, so be it. If they have to start waving a baseball bat, then I'd have a problem with that one. But if they're just sitting there and they're stone, they're locked up inside, then you have to let them try to find a way to express themselves. You just can't say, well, you're going to be fine, you're going to be fine, you're going to be fine. No, you're not. You're never going to be fine. You're going to be fucked up for the rest of your life. Deal with it, acknowledge it, move on with it. Because you're going to be dealing with that pain for a hell of a long while, and there's going to be some days you're going to be functioning, and other days you're going to be like shit. I know, because I'm walking through it all the frickin' time. Growing up as a kid, it's one thing when you listen to that kind of malarkey all the damn time coming from relatives and siblings saying, oh, you're going to be fine, you're going to be fine. We may have lost this person, but you're still here, you're going to be fine. Well, somebody in 12-step programs a long time ago said, well, fine is frustrated, insecure, neurotic, emotional. Deal with that. So when it comes down for losing persons, when it comes down for losing people, family members, the lives that actually matter the most, even if they're veteran lives or not, it still hurts like a son of a bitch. It still hurts like a son of a bitch. Now, you're probably going to be asking me, where's my qualifications? How dare I say stuff like this? I'm saying it from personal experience. I have never said to people that I am a guru, I am an expert, I'm lettered, I know what the fuck I'm saying. I'm going from my own observations, my own experiences, the own shit I'm going through right now. And this is what I relay to people. They don't like it, that's on them. If they do like it, fine. If they can comment, fine. It'd be nice to hear from people. But if not, take it for what it is. I'm saying my own life out there. I am showing my life out there. I'm explaining my life out there. Because in one way, I don't want myself to be here and then the next day you'll no longer see me and wonder what the hell happened. Doesn't mean does it mean I'm planning on killing myself or not? No. But I know some people have left things unsaid in their world. When they leave, they feel so incomplete because they wanted to do more and say more. There's some things I wish I could have done more of, and other things I wish I could have accomplished, and I hadn't. At least to the date of this taping and the time of the date in the taping here. I mean, yeah, I wish I had been in better health, better condition. I wish I'd been able to take care of that damn refrigerator like I should have been doing in the first place and being afraid of dealing with the damn mold. I mean, I got protection left and right, but I hate dealing with that damn shit. I got nobody else to help me. Shit, fuck it. So I got to deal with it myself. I don't like dealing with pain and grief. I don't like dealing with medical doctors telling me that they know better than I do. Well, they may not know medical terminology, but my body tells me one thing, and they're telling me something else. But if my body's not telling me something, what's it telling them? I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I know how to do medical terminology. So if they start throwing the terms at me, fine, I'll figure it out. You're going to tell me how to be fearful of life? Well, I've already been doing that already since the age of 4. You want me to be afraid of death? Same answer right there. Am I fearful and distrustful of people? Hell yeah. Even my own friends, I still keep a little bit of doubt and fear in my head. Just in case. I'm always holding myself aloof. Even to the family that I love like crazy, I always held myself aloof because I was always afraid. I've never been able to let go of myself completely. I always held myself in reserve. Because I know one way or another I'm going to get myself backstabbed. And I don't like that. I don't like going through that either. I know this letter was supposed to be an apology to the veterans out there. But I had to get some kind of context. I had to get some perspective and something for them to understand why. Of course you say, well, that's all right. Not for me it isn't. Not for me it isn't. And not for honoring my own brother as well. Because the truth of the matter is, anytime there's going to be a veteran holiday, anytime there's going to be a holiday that I know my family celebrated, I'm going to be a miserable son of a bitch. And I won't celebrate with people. I'll be sitting back home licking my own wounds because there's nothing I can do to get past the damn pain. Now, I know some people say I need to go to a doctor to get more medications. And describing what the hell I've been saying earlier on about medications and doctors, it's a different story altogether. I've had doctors put me up with different medications that made me goofier and damn near suicidal that said, no way. I'm not a lab rat. Experiment on somebody else. You ever read the book A Brave New World by Aldous Huxley? In it, you have a world made of classification of people. And for the recreational use, they use a drug called Soma, S-O-M-A. A lot worse than the medication we have. That's also Soma. The Soma is a drug that they talk about in the book. People can't live without it. When you're terribly addicted to a drug, when you have no other choice but to keep taking the damn drug, just because doctors got you hooked on it, but the doctor said that you need to have this medication. I've seen how being hooked on medication can drive a person mad. My own mother, a long time ago, before she passed away, was hooked on a depressant, on an antidepressant. And if she didn't get her medication, her disipramine, she would go insane. So for 1 week, my mother went insane. The delivery person at the time got the delivery thing screwed up somehow. He put it in an area where we couldn't even find the damn package. But it was delivered. They were most insistent. It took us about a week trying to find the damn shit because we didn't know where the hell it was. And Ma still had to deal with other stuff. And we had to deal and cope with her many mood swings. When your body and your mind are so addicted to the chemicals that are affecting your neurochemistry, getting off of it for a while is a nightmare. Nicotine's the same damn way. Alcohol the same way. Drugs the same way. Once your body is accustomed to it and wants more of it, it's hard as hell to stay the hell away from it. The Cypramine is supposed to be the medication. And yet, when you're hooked on it for so long, you keep going to different doctors hoping to get the same steady state because some might say you're getting too much of this. And you're saying, no, I'm not. So it still concerns me regarding medications. The only meds I take is Tylenol for my pain. That's about it. But only sparingly. I'll deal with the pain. I'll deal with the grief. I don't need drugs to deal with emotions, and I don't need drugs to deal with the physical unless I really need them. But if I'm going through the emotional roller coaster at that time, I go through the emotional roller coaster. I cry my eyeballs out. Become like a worthless piece of rag doll that's pouring out every soul and every pore, everything he's got. That's me. It's not easy talking about this to people. It's not easy enough to talk about it to anybody else, let alone doing a damn video about this, because this is the hardest damn thing for me to do. To have it admitted to myself that I am that much of a wreck? Yeah, I am. I had seen reports of athletes having issues regarding depression. And whatever triggers that opened them up for this damn roller coaster, it hit. And it hits hard. And sometimes it's a slow moving bastard, and other times it hits you just out of the blue. And you have to understand where they're coming from. You have to give them a wide berth. Let them deal with it. They probably would need encouragement, but you can't force it down them. And especially when they're asking for help, have that hand ready to go. Even if they just need to hold on to it. Not be led anywhere, but just hold on to it. Because that way we're telling them they're all right. For that moment in time, they are all right. You may not agree, you may not understand, but if you allow human empathy happen, you just have the hand extended to them. If they happen to take it, don't withdraw it. Just keep it there. Because at that point, they're drawing strength from you for support. You're the life support at that point. You're the life support for that moment until they can get themselves orientated to doing something else for the next task. And it's hard. And I can't even talk right because I need water. As I said before, I'm no guru. I'm no expert on stuff like this. But I'm going through it, and other stuff I already have gone through it. So I know from personal experience. I'm drawing from that to talk to people like you. I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're hurting or not. I don't know if you've already been through a hell of a lot. You probably already have. And if you do, maybe there's some aspects of any of this that you're relating to. And that way the hand's already been put out. My hand's already been put out. There was an old joke that was passed around from time to time, and I've heard it in so many variations that one person happens to walk and gets put into a pit, just falls right into it. Pastor comes by, fire guy comes by, or three sorts of people come by that probably would have helped the guy out, but one prays, one throws a prescription. I forgot what the third person does, but then the fourth person comes by, and it's a friend of his. And the friend jumps down into the hole. He says, "Wait a second, what the hell are you doing? Now you're stuck like me." He says, "Yeah, I've been here like before, but I know the way out." I've heard variations of the story and different characters used, but it's still the same Samaritan story of sorts. As someone who's already been there, is already in there with you already, and they know. That person knows. So if you're hurting, if you're killing yourself over this damn thing one way or another, you're not alone in your pain. You're not alone in your grief. There are hands out there. All you gotta do is hold on to them and just draw strength if you have to until you get to the next level of saying, okay, now I can move a little bit or do something. I know it doesn't seem like very much when we had the social media shit. Believe me, I know the feeling. And what drives me crazy is when I think my friends are not there and my families are not there. We all have varied lives. And throughout my head, throughout this weekend, I felt like nobody gave a shit. I'll see the emoticons, but maybe in their way, they're trying to say you're not alone. I know physically we want to have people over here, and then we don't want to have people over here because our pride and our ego and our arrogance would say that no, we can handle this. But the inner child of us is still hurt like a son of a bitch, is saying, no, I need my support, damn it. I need them people around me. And that's what you have to say to yourself. That's what it is. So I'm going to say it to my family and friends out there. We're separated by distance. We're separated by events. But even if you're trying to send an emoticon, it has to be counted for something. Even though we would physically like to have a shoulder to cry on, a hand to hold, or someone to squeeze into jelly as we're hugging them to death. Even a pillow or a dog works. Assuming, of course, you don't squeeze the dog to death. But you have to realize, even though you seem like you are alone, you're not alone. I know they've talked about the National Suicide Hotline out there. I have yet to utilize it because at times I felt like I didn't need to utilize it. And it's hard as hell for me to do so because me, like everybody else, I'm embarrassed and afraid. Talking to people about things like this on the phone, you'd rather be doing it in person. But then sometimes in person, you're also embarrassed because you're opening up yourself and it's scary. And it hurts like a son of a bitch. So I'm going to find that. If I can just see the damn thing, I'll be fine. Alright. I'm going to show this. Get a screenshot. Or pause it. That's important to everybody. That's important to you, and that's important to me. If you need to contact me, you can always put in the comments. I can still try to find those comments. And then we can talk about things, what's going on. On my page, there's also links. Utilize them. Utilize them. And if not, still use the comments to bellyache at me. I probably need to adapt them anyway and improve upon them. This is so important, boys and girls. I know we're past Suicide Prevention Month, but we're still going to get enough of it anyway. One is too damn much, I'll tell you. There's way much. For that, I'm just going to leave you with this cheerful thought. We think we're not enough, but we are. You think you're not strong, but you are. But at times, in understanding our strength, we have to understand our weaknesses. Through our weaknesses, we can find our strength. We can find out what we're strong at. If we're compassion, if we find that people think we're weak because we're compassionate, then that's our strength. If we're empathetic, if we are emotional, it could be our strength. Understanding our weaknesses can be used as our strength, and I know one of these here days that advice is going to bite me in the ass, especially when I'm going to say something otherwise. Because I know we all do the same damn thing. We wouldn't be human if we weren't. Or somewhat anyway. So, remember, you're not alone. Neither am I. I know because I got a dog right over there.